Next up, we have somebody who's new, at least, just reading here. Have you read it before? Not here? No, I know, but like around, what's your bio, man? What, you biopsy, actually. The biopsy, yeah. Well, give a hand for Holmes McHenry. He'll tell you all about himself.
Thank you. The title of this piece is called More, More, More. From the time she was old enough to watch TV and make sense of all the things on there that she would see, Peggy knew what separated good from bad. It had something to do with how much money you had. Her parents were poor, but honest folk, but she thought their way of living was an unfunny joke. Peggy knew from the get she had never been meant to be scuffling and scrambling for food and for rent. She was not a bad girl like many of them. She was just short-sighted and a little bit dim. She wouldn't go to college. When she did have the chance, she saw herself bi-coastal between New York and France. Peggy was pretty. She had what it takes to be a supermodel, but she didn't get the breaks. She got a job in an office. She found the scene slow, and the numbers on her paycheck were way too low. It was the story of her life. She was a lioness caged. From somewhere deep inside my girl, a demon raged and said, I gotta have money. I can't be poor. I need more. More, more, more. She let nobody know how lack of money upset her. She had designer clothes, the more expensive the better. Dresses and shoes, coats, leather slacks. She got credit cards and ran them up to the max. Peggy felt this borrowed money was extremely well spent. She was the center of attention wherever she went. Most women didn't like her. She didn't care. She believed they'd act the same way, except they didn't dare. Men loved her style, her beauty, her charm. There was fierce competition to have her hang on their arm. She was good at conversation and better at sex. When a relationship went sour, she'd move on to the next. She dated a doctor, a basketball player, a young rap singer, and the deputy mayor. These were generous men. She knew how to choose. Financial aid they provided made her life like a cruise. Some people thought the way she lived her life was not nice. Her sister said she ought to go work for Heidi Fleiss. Peggy said, I'm not a skeezer, and I'm not a whore, but I need more. More, more, more. Peggy's rationale is really not worth defending, when all she wants to do is just continue her spending. Extravagant things she will always see and think other people have them, so why not me? Peggy's still out there, beautiful and bold. I hope she changes up her life before she gets old. Then she'll be compelled to bring this stuff to a halt. Peggy has twisted values, but it's not all her fault. We all want the things that Peggy wanted, my friend. Criticize her means, but you still want the same end. Call her a materialistic and greedy witch, while you dream about the day when you can holler, I'm rich. I wish I was wealthy, and I'm not a nut. But poor deluded Peggy thought she found a shortcut. Satisfaction never comes to those who live by that line that says there's so much stuff that's out here and I gotta get mine. Gratification, happiness, and inner peace will come from all the things you do each day to help other people. We all want money and possessions. We don't know what for, but we want more. More, more, more!
Yeah!
Thank you. You can ask me a little bit about my bio, where I worked, where I've performed before. Aside from down the street in New Eureka, one of the other places is called the Newsroom up in the Bronx. And I see one of our habitués from the Newsroom has just come in, Ellen Crane. Welcome, Ellen, Okay. If I can do one more. I'd like to do this one that I usually do this time of year. I did not write this, but it's appropriate for this time of season. since it's almost Halloween, maybe I'm a little early with this one, but it's after the mid of October, and it's about Halloween, and this was written maybe around 1981 or 1982, and it was done by the rap group Houdini. And this one is called The Haunted House of Rock. You may remember this one. So it's a really good piece. It kind of inspired me, to get into rhyming. But it goes like this. Welcome to the place where the creatures be. The last building to your left of the dead-end street. They got skeleton bones outside in the pavement and torture chambers down in the basement. Cobwebs hanging over your head. Music being played by the Grateful Dead. And spinning on the turntables back to back was none other than my main man, Wolfman Jack, the MC of the night. Rapping to a tune was the creature from the Black Lagoon. There's a sign on the door that can't be missed. It reads, enter. But at your own risk, there's people been reported going in the haunted house and never again seen coming out. You ask me if it's true, I leave it up to you. Here's an invite, I hope I see you tonight. We sent out invitations for weeks and weeks. We invited in all kinds of freaks like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the Addams Family and the Boston Five, the Invisible Man. Where could he be? He got inside the party free. One of these days they're gonna catch him red-handed, not for sneaking in free, but being a booty bandit. The bartender was cute, but kind of hairy, and Dracula was killing those Bloody Marys. He got drunk as a skunk, started trouble all night, but everybody knew his bark was bigger than his bite. It was the only place for you to be. The first 200 witches in the party were free, and all was well until the clock struck 12. Everybody jumped up and started raising hell. They were screaming and breaking and foaming at the mouth, just minor side effects of the haunted house. You were in that dream, all in your sleep. You'd be tossing and turning to the funky beat. Frankenstein was there with this crazy looking chick. I think he said her name was Voodoo on a Stick. She had a big fat head and a skinny body. I wouldn't be caught with her alone, much less at a party. Igor was there with the monster crew. I seen everybody there except you. Why didn't you come? Weren't you prepared? Or could it be that you were scared? It's just not fair that you couldn't be there. You really missed a lot, I'm telling you. We really burned the house down at the Haunted House of Rock.